Hello, this is Géza Csákvári, journalist from Hungary, Népszava Daily. This is the biggest daily newspaper here. There is this one sentence in your film from one of the characters, the black guy who says that it's better to feel something than feel nothing.
Yeah.
I think that was a wonderful line, and so, talking about Holocaust, was this an important to how to talk about this subject, or it was something really personal because it's your family background? And I'm asking this in the era when I think some people are even denying Holocaust. So it's a
Yeah.
very interesting problem.
Well, thank you, Geza. I just left Hungary after being there for 4 months, and I was just amazing experience to get to live there, and also to learn about the Jewish history of Budapest, which is fascinating and singular and a
Absolutely.
very exclusive to Hungary. Yeah, when I think about the line that you just mentioned, it's better to feel something than nothing at all. It's the way I kind of have explored my family's history. This movie began for me in an attempt to understand my family's history. Once I started to understand my family's history, I developed this just kind of weird feeling of guilt that my life is so fortunate, and yet I have the kind of, and yet I'm oftentimes miserable, and I couldn't understand why my life, why I don't walk around kissing the ground every day for being alive when my family survived a genocide, you know. And so when I started to explore my family's history, one of the things that stuck with me is that it's important that I feel something. It's important that I have some kind of pain so I can experience or at least understand a taste of their life experience. And so actually maybe the thing that when I feel anxiety or self-pity or some kind of depression, I guess I think of it as maybe this attempt to try to connect to some family history, that one that was full of trauma and evictions and exiling and pogroms and then a Holocaust, and maybe my personal feelings of just discomfort or maybe are my attempts to kind of connect to that family history.
Well, emotionally, how hard was to shoot in an actual concentration camp?
It was very strange. Basically, I had written a scene that took place in a concentration camp, and I didn't realize that they don't let you film in these places because these places they're cemeteries, they're hallowed ground, they're sacred sites. And so we were told that we can't film there. And it took about 8 months of kind of speaking with the people who work at this camp. It's called Majdanek. It's in the southeastern part of Poland. And to it took about 8 months to express to them that my goal is the same as your goal. I want to show what this place is now so people understand what happened here, and that's your goal too. They're essentially a museum now, and they're trying to show people what happened in this place. In the same way as you said, Geza, a lot of people don't believe that this thing occurred, and so I guess for me as a director was like, I want to show what happened here. And we wound up having a beautiful relationship with the people who run this camp, and it just turned into a really nice meeting of the minds.
There's one very touching scene in the film when the characters are visiting their grandmother's house in Poland, and you have been there before because since that's your grandmother's house. So which was more weird? The first time when you were there as Jesse Eisenberg, the person, or shooting a movie there?
It was so weird when I first went there in 2008 with my wife. I was standing outside my family's house. I knew it was the house, but I never occurred to me like to knock on the door or anything. I was just standing, going, wow, how strange, how unremarkable, how interesting. But when I went back there with a movie crew 14 years later, our locations guy, as locations managers of movies often do, just walked up, knocked on the door, and walked right in. And so, so it was very strange to basically suddenly feel a kind of ownership over the place. We built them a little balcony because I wanted the scene to take place on this little balcony, and so we bought the neighbors this kind of railing because they didn't have railing on their balcony, and so it was just turned into this very strange thing, and it felt to me in this very weird way just like another movie set. So by the time I was actually filming there, I had emotionally forgotten that my family comes here because there were so many things to do as a director that it just felt like another movie set. And only after that, when I called my father and I said, we just did this scene there, it was amazing, did I have an emotional reaction.
Thank you so much for the wonderful film, for the important film, and for your great answers.
Oh, Custardom, thank you so much.